So the goal of this video is to answer one question. Is it realistic to get your splits in 30 days? Last year, I watched this video by Natacha Oceane, who I absolutely love, and she explains exactly how you can get your splits. So for the next 30 days, I will be doing Natacha Oceane's split routine to try and improve my flexibility and hopefully get my splits. So I have to let you in on a little secret, but this is not the first time that I'm trying to get my splits in 30 days. You could see that although there was progress, I was still far from the ground. And not only that, but my hips were far from facing forward. So I am trying this again, and I will be personalizing this routine to what my body needs. So this is the closest I've ever been to getting my splits. And at that time, I was doing yoga. Not only that, but it was hot yoga, which in my opinion really helps you kind of relax your muscles, warm them up, and pushes you that much further. You're probably looking at that photo thinking like, Slat, what is wrong with one of your legs? Like, there's a major difference between the two of them. So yes, I don't know why, I was born with one flexible side and one very inflexible side. The two really don't match. And to be honest guys, this is one of the main reasons why I want to do this challenge. I really want to even out both of my sides to prevent any future injuries at the gym. So let's get right into it. Before I go over the exact routine and what I'll be tweaking, I wanted to show you my current starting point. One, I will be adding 2 stretches for my hamstrings. The first one that I chose is the standing hamstring stretch. And to set this one up, you're going to need a desk or a table that's slightly lower than your hip level. So here you're stretching your hamstrings, and to have a good stretch, you want to make sure that your hips are square, and then you're going to lean forward with your chest leading first. So not slouching and rounding, but rather having a proud chest and try and get your chest as close as you can to your leg. I'm also keeping my toes flexed, which actually makes it a little bit more intense, especially here in my IT band. So if you don't have a table, another way to do this stretch would be just simply sitting down on the floor and having the wall in front of you. For this next part, you're going to need pillows, and a lot of them. The second stretch we're setting up is the kneeling bent over hamstring stretch. You want to sit back your hips, so you're not leaning kind of like this. You want to really make sure that you're leaning onto your right side, or the side that you're stretching. 2, I will be adding an additional stretch from my IT band, hoping that that will help me sort of turn my hips forward and square them in the splits. To set this one up, you simply cross one leg over the other and fold forward. You should feel a really good stretch along the outside of your leg. And last but not least, before going into the splits, we also need to stretch our hip flexors. And the best exercise for this is the kneeling hip flexor stretch. You want to make sure you're keeping your hips square and you're going forward. So your leg, if you look back, should be straight. And you should really feel it in your hip flexor. 3, I'm not going to time myself in these stretches simply because I don't think that 1 minute was long enough for me. Instead, I'm going to base it a little bit on how I feel, and I'm going to simply try and relax into the stretch. Okay. So I used a bunch of pillows to make this a little bit less painful. But if your starting point is a bit higher, you could use chairs. The point is you want to try and relax into the stretch as much as possible. Day 1 completed. First week went by and I don't feel like I made enough progress. So for week 2, I will stretch longer and repeat the routine twice. Alright, so it is halfway through week 2, guys, and I am sore in my hamstrings, but I think we've made some progress. This is where we're at, guys. This is my right leg. Never done the split with it before. With our left leg right now. Whew. There you go. Done for the day. Breathe. So in the past week, I've kind of shifted my stretches a little bit, and I've been spending a little bit more time in the splits rather than doing these kind of stretches twice. And the reason for that is just that it's gotten a little bit more comfortable, so I'm actually able to do that. Plus, it is a lot more intense. So I've been seeing more progress doing that than with this one. This is probably my favorite. This is where I've seen the most progress in order to square my hips and the splits. Oh, this always stretches so much. I don't like this one. It's a love-hate relationship. So of course there were days when I didn't feel like stretching, when I was too sore, or I left it until the end of the day and my motivation was very low. But you know what? Just like going to the gym, the more I stretched, the better I got at it, the more I enjoyed it, and even started to look forward to it. And I enjoy it as much as you can. The thing is, we all have different starting points, but that shouldn't be the thing that stops you from trying. I can't promise you that you'll get your splits in 30 days, but I think it's pretty clear that you can make a lot of progress in that time if you stay consistent. Trying to breathe. But this is the closest I've ever been, I think, especially on this side. That is it, 1 week away. So I actually took a day off yesterday because I was feeling quite sore. I find that actually helps sometimes because if you're too sore and you overstretch, you're not progressing. Resting sometimes is the best thing to do, and then the next day you can push just a little bit further. So when you're stretching, you want to feel a good stretch. Maybe it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it shouldn't hurt. That way you make sure that you don't get injured. But I definitely feel like every time I'm stretching towards the end, I feel like it's really hot in here and I'm starting to sweat, so that way you know you're actually working. I'm a little nervous because I don't know if I'll actually get my splits today. It is day 30 and I'm praying for a miracle. So I only recently tried this with the chairs and I find it so much better. I should have done this way before because it really helps you keep your chest up and kind of evens the stretch out in your hamstrings versus your hip flexors. I'm warm. So I always like to start with more pillows and then work my way down, just kind of easing into the stretch. Okay, let's go. We're gonna move one more pillow. It's warm in here. See if there's any miracles today. We are at 3. This is where we started a long ass time ago. It's the moment of truth. Let's see if I can actually do the splits, you guys. I'm actually gonna start with my bad side. Let's see how far that one progressed, okay? So bad side's the right, good side's the left. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't think I have this one, but let's see. So this is the right side. Not that far. Okay, now the left side. Okay. see. Down and ta-da! Okay, that was for a brief second, but I do have my split on the left side and I still have to work a little harder on the right side. Yay! I think flexibility is kind of like when you work out and you have muscle memory, like your ligaments, joints, and all that also have muscle memory. So once you're able to do the splits, it is a lot easier to get back into them. Personally, I have really enjoyed these 30 days. Stretching has become a habit that I will try to keep. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. We did it on one side, but we did it. I'm gonna keep stretching and hopefully I can get my splits even more comfortable.